So I made about $7,000 playing a crypto game yesterday. This is the first time I've been motivated to actually post a video on this channel in about 6 months. To be honest with you, crypto gaming has been on the slump. It hasn't been the best to trade. And as someone that has been in the space for 5 years, I'm not gonna go ahead and sugarcoat things. It's been tough for crypto gaming. And yet today, I made a post that said that I was making $2,400 an hour playing a crypto game. And this isn't clickbait. This was very much real. Now, it's a little bit more complicated than that. But today, I've actually gone ahead and pretty much exited this game. I'm being fully transparent here. I have gone ahead and sold a lot of my assets and recouped my initial investment. So what has changed in such a short period of time? And how did I win in this trade? Because at the end of the day, when it comes to these games, the on-chain Ponzi-esque games, I kill it. If you didn't know, the most popular video on my channel is me exiting Axi Infinity. And this was near the top of the market. Not only that, one of my most popular Peg Axi videos was me exiting right before the Valentine's Day burn event. And I gave my dad a crypto Raiders for December. And that was his birthday at the time. I wanted to go ahead and give something back, and I gave him a Crypto Raider. Crypto Raider was one of my best plays of 2021. Also kind of a Ponzi game. So why, for whatever reason, do I keep winning with these Ponzi games? That's what I want to explore in this video. With this being said, this is extremely high risk. I'm literally selling things. As you can literally see, I'm selling things. So don't just get into this and think you're going to make a ton of money. This is more an educational video rather than an opportunity for you. There are going to be more crypto games with very similar premises. So please understand that you can use some of these rules to go ahead and absolutely kill it in the future. So let's get into Dungeons of Fortune, because that's the crypto game that we're talking about it. Right now, I'm still waiting for a good portion of my tokens, and in fact, haven't sold, the tokens. I think at the current prices, about 140,000 tokens is about $7,000 plus a couple other things that I have as well. I have my graveyard, et cetera, et cetera. So what is the premise of this game? The premise of this game is to go ahead and mint heroes with USDC. So you would mint heroes until the supply cap's about 20,000 right here. And you'd be able to use these guys to go ahead and hunt in game. So you'd go to this little dungeon button, click one of these. There's a fee in coins, which is the native currency for the game. You spend it and pretty much you're good. Now, with this being said, you would think this is just like every other Ponzi. Everybody gets ROI in like 3 hours and it's going to go to the dumps instantly. I thought so too, until I delved deeper into the actual Git book for this game. I dug into exactly how to actually go ahead and operate in this game. And what I went ahead and noticed when I looked at Dungeons of Fortune's Git book was that you're losing money. When you start this game, you're losing money. This game is a lot more clever than it makes itself out to be. If it doesn't load it, that's also okay. I'll just kind of explain it. But yeah, the Git book explains everything. When you go to the Heroes tab and you look over the hero rewards and XP, there's this thing called token reward rate. Now, when you start the game, you're at about 98%. And this is 98% out of 100, which means that you're going to be losing money every single time you do one of these battles at about 2% a rate. So you're against the casino, you're not gonna win against the casino. Eventually, as you get up in these levels, as you get items, it becomes positive and you start making money. So you're actually not going to be making money very quickly when it comes to these crypto games. You're gonna be making money very, very slowly. And what I noticed is that there have been other coins, like, for example, a Bitcoin that went out there, and Bitcoin got a ton of hype. People made a ton of money in a very short period of time. I think people, at least psychologically speaking, were thinking that this game was going to be the same exact thing. When in reality, this game is the exact opposite. It's a lot more sustainable. It's not going to have anything crazy. But it did have a catalyst that made it unreasonably high in terms of a price. And that is Jesse. Now, Jesse is the guy over at Base. He's the one, I guess he's currently being slashed or something. But he went ahead and actually retweeted a post and started commenting on, he does way too many tweets, this guy, but he did a tweet and it was about, oh my god, he tweets a lot. Here it is. Okay, so we're thrilled to announce welcome everybody into the dungeons. He just retweeted this, reposted this. Build on Base started interacting with it and it got a ton of hype. The coin absolutely mooned, but realistically speaking, people are losing money right now. So coins are being burned, so there's still coins being taken out of the supply. The people that bought into the pre-sale, which they bought in at 4 cents, were up about 3x on their investment. And on top of this, if you went onto OpenSea, the actual Dungeons of Fortune collection, the collection, because you can sell your heroes back, these were mooning. I mean, these were going for like $60, $70 a pop on floor, and they were minting for $50. And if you got one of the rare ones, you know, they were selling for like 0.7, 0.8 ETH. And from my perspective, it was only a certain amount of time. You had a certain amount of time before this guy wakes up, starts posting about other things, and this catalyst completely destroys itself, and the entire market resets, and the risk to reward on your investment is much higher. So we decided, when I had this absolutely insane tweet saying that I was making $2,400 an hour playing a crypto game, that it's probably time to sell. It's probably time to sell. And it sure as hell was a solid time to do it, because that was near the peak of the market and a great opportunity to go ahead and take profit. And we actually announced that on Legion. Let me go ahead and pop Legion up right here. So on our Discord, Legion, I actually posted this almost right after. This was 3:02 a.m., $2,400 an hour playing crypto game. Like 30 minutes later, I said, I'm taking initials out here. Number's crazy. So that's the story behind DeFi and this Dungeons of Fortune game, right? There's going to be more games, and you know, this game could come back. I mean, I think it has more sustainable of an economy than many other projects, but I don't care. I'm here to make money in crypto. I'm not here to go ahead and guess whether or not something's going to come back or not. I'm not going to be here to trade that. I'm going to be here to trade the logic. And that's something in crypto gaming that I've learned. You don't want to be around for a long time. You don't want to be a quote unquote community member. You want to make your money and leave. You can get into other opportunities. There are so many opportunities in crypto. You don't need to be stuck in one play forever. Crypto gaming is a constantly evolving landscape, and understanding these small little advantage points are going to be huge, because I guarantee most people that got into this game didn't understand the little things that would go ahead and benefit your heroes, like doing the hell dungeons and using the buffs and buying them and making sure that we're going ahead and throwing the increased death chance on our heroes, and waking up at 3 in the morning for our cooldowns, right? Just, it's the little things that add up that make you that much more profitable. But let's go over some of the other crypto games that I have done very well on. Let's go over Axi Infinity. So I turned about $700 into, it was well over $10,000. We turned it into $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 at peak Axi prices. We did it by going ahead and buying 3 Axis. It was my brother's birthday, gave it to him. It was literally just giving it to him because I wanted to pay him back for being an awesome brother and hopefully help him get his life together. He pretty much gambled everything away, and you know, shit happens, right? He's doing much better these days. But yeah, I got these Axis. They doubled in price in a very short amount of time. I looked into Mark Cuban's investments, and I looked into just everything in the ecosystem was just pointing to huge numbers up. The TVL was spiking aggressively. And so during that time, the markets were very depressed. And when summer comes, a lot of liquidity, and we're going to see the same thing this cycle. DeFi season is going to happen. And DeFi season is usually sparked by these huge GambleFi season projects, just like Axi Infinity. And so we saw Axi Infinity spark up, got a huge amount of speculation. I started breeding a plant Axis because this guy called Whoop-de-doo56, he's now known as pretty much a grifter. He sold a course, didn't give people value, is what it is. He led the plant meta though. And by knowing the fact that he was going to teach other people to do this little plant meta, and the fact that I already knew the meta and I had spreadsheets to go ahead and calculate costs, I knew I'd have the leg up on him. And so I did it up to pretty much the point where he exited the space. I switched over to Rimps, which is the Ronin Imp combination on the Axis Beast. And the second that the Rimps became unprofitable on the 3rd breed out of 7, that was the time I sold, because that's the time where people can't just hyper grow the ecosystem anymore. Things slowed down severely and the Ponzi breaks. And that's exactly what happened. SLP fell, the Ponzi broke, and floor prices began to crash. It was the perfect time to exit. We started our scholarship program, Axi Mania. And then, of course, the founder, everything was getting very delusional, so he fully exited for a very healthy amount of profit. When it comes to something like Pegaxi, so Pegaxi actually had a bit of an easier curve. They were absolutely mooning for the longest time. The amount of coins that were being minted was way less than the amount of coins that were being burned for a certain amount of time, which meant there was just so much demand for these coins that they were getting burned an insane amount to breed these Pegas. And the number one way to make money was not through actually playing the game, it's through selling the shovels. The way people made money on Axi was not playing the game, it was by breeding the Axis. And the same logic was on Pegaxi. The people that made the money was the people that bred the Pegas. You're the one that's selling the supply. And you could actually use the same example with Dungeons of Fortune. People want to get into the game. Well, they're going to need a hero. And guess what I did? I sold my heroes to recruit my initial investment when I saw people were getting a little bit over ambitious, and that's exactly what I went ahead and did. And so the same logic is to be used on Pegaxi. What happened was somewhere near Valentine's Day, the amount of tokens that were being minted and burned started getting closer and closer and closer and closer. And the problem is, once this mint goes over the burn, once more tokens are being minted than burned, everybody's psychology shifts. There's only so much time. It's a ticking time bomb before everything collapses in an ecosystem like that. And so we saw during the Valentine's Day event, they did an event where you could go ahead and mint a cosmetic, cool little Valentine's Day Pega, and it would burn the supply. It seemed like a desperate move, and so I sold before that, about a week before that, and it was, I think it was like 20% off the top on Pegaxi. Absolutely killed it on that one. And then in terms of crypto raiders, the way we killed it on that one is, well, we got into it pretty early and we started staking it. That was great and all. The second that Sunflower Lands pumped, and that was the big play on Polygon, it was just mooning on Polygon. It made every other token on Polygon moon, even though it made absolutely no sense. If things are starting to not make sense, you are probably the yield. And so take profit. If you're learning anything from this video, when people are way over the top, it's time to start taking your money out. There's no reason for a game like this with as much sustainability as it has to go ahead and immediately get some bull posts from the guy building the chain, moons up like 3x in a very short period of time, and has no corrections. It makes absolutely no sense. So why not take your risk reward out, take your initial investment out, and not have to worry about what happens in the rest of the ecosystem. The goal is to not be stuck in these ecosystems, because as much as people could argue, oh, but these are Ponzi's, this is gonna last a heck of a lot longer than what you think of as a Ponzi scheme, right? And the people that are thinking that way, well, they're gonna be the exit liquidity because they're playing the game. They're actively playing this game. And sure, there's a chance they make more money than us and they do so much better, but their risk is just it's astronomically higher than the guys that get in early, mint the heroes, and sell them for a profit. Because selling the shovels, it seems like in the crypto space in 2025 has been tried and tested in crypto gaming and is phenomenal. So that's how I made, $7,000 to $10,000 in a single day of playing crypto games. I invested about $10,000, $12,000. It wasn't an insane amount of profit, but for me, that is a awesome bet to go ahead and make as someone that, for some reason, just doesn't miss on these games. Until the next time, stay classy, and I'll see y'all later.